A pattern for future society. Few will fail to recognize that the spirit breathed by Baha'u'llah upon the world, and which is manifesting itself with varying degrees of intensity through the efforts consciously displayed by his avowed supporters and indirectly through certain humanitarian organizations, can never permeate and exercise an abiding influence upon mankind unless and until it incarnates itself in a visible order, which would bear his name, wholly identify itself with his principles, and function in conformity with his laws. But Baha'u'llah in his Book of Aqdas, and later Abdul Baha in his Will, a document which confirms, supplements, and correlates the provisions of the Aqdas, have set forth in their entirety those essential elements for the constitution of the World Baha'i Commonwealth. No one who has read them will deny. According to these divinely ordained administrative principles, the dispensation of Baha'u'llah, the ark of human salvation, must needs be modelled. From them, all future blessings must flow, and upon them its inviolable authority must ultimately rest. For Baha'u'llah, we should readily recognize, has not only imbued mankind with a new and regenerating spirit. He has not merely enunciated certain universal principles or propounded a particular philosophy, however potent, sound, and universal these may be. In addition to these, he, as well as Abdul Baha after him, has, unlike the dispensations of the past, clearly and specifically laid down a set of laws, established definite institutions, and provided for the essentials of a divine economy. These are destined to be a pattern for future society, a supreme instrument for the establishment of the most great peace, and the one agency for the unification of the world and the proclamation of the reign of righteousness and justice upon the earth. Leaders of religion, exponents of political theories, governors of human institutions, who at present are witnessing with perplexity and dismay the bankruptcy of their ideas and the disintegration of their handiwork, would do well to turn their gaze to the revelation of Baha'u'llah and to meditate upon the world order which, lying enshrined in his teachings, is slowly and imperceptibly rising amid the welter and chaos of present-day civilization. They need have no doubt or anxiety regarding the nature, the origin, or validity of the institutions which the adherents of the faith are building up throughout the world. For these lie embedded in the teachings themselves, unadulterated and unobscured by unwarrantable inferences or unauthorized interpretations of his word. The onrushing forces, so miraculously released through the agency of two independent and swiftly successive manifestations, are now under our very eyes and through the care of the chosen stewards of a far-flung faith being gradually mustered and disciplined. They are slowly crystallizing into institutions that will come to be regarded as the hallmark and glory of the age we are called upon to establish and by our deeds immortalize. It would be utterly misleading to attempt a comparison between this unique, this divinely conceived order, and any of the diverse systems which the minds of men at various periods of their history, have contrived for the government of human institutions. Such an attempt would in itself betray a lack of complete appreciation of the excellence of the handiwork of its great author. How could it be otherwise when we remember that this order constitutes a very pattern of that divine civilization which the almighty law of Baha'u'llah is designed to establish upon earth? The diverse and ever-shifting systems of human polity, whether past or present, whether originating in the East or in the West, offer no adequate criterion wherewith to estimate the potency of its hidden virtues or to appraise the solidity of its foundations. The Baha'i Commonwealth of the future, of which this vast administrative order is the sole framework, is both in theory and practice not only unique in the entire history of political institutions, but can find no parallel in the annals of any of the world's recognized religious systems. No form of democratic government, no system of autocracy or of dictatorship, whether monarchical or republican, no intermediary scheme of a purely aristocratic order, nor even any of the recognized types of theocracy, whether it be the Hebrew Commonwealth or the various Christian ecclesiastical organizations, or the imamate or the caliphate in Islam. None of these can be identified or be said to conform with the administrative order which the master hand of its perfect architect has fashioned. This newborn administrative order incorporates within its structure certain elements which are to be found in each of the three recognized forms of secular government, without being in any sense a mere replica of any one of them, and without introducing within its machinery any of the objectionable features which they inherently possess. It blends and harmonizes as no government fashioned by mortal hands has as yet accomplished the salutary truths which each of these systems undoubtedly contains, without vitiating the integrity of those God-given verities on which it is ultimately founded. The administrative order of the faith of Baha'u'llah must in no wise be regarded as purely democratic in character, inasmuch as the basic assumption which requires all democracies to depend fundamentally upon getting their mandate from the people is altogether lacking in this dispensation. In the conduct of the administrative affairs of the faith, in the enactment of the legislation necessary to supplement the laws of the Kitab Aqdas, the members of the Universal House of Justice, it should be borne in mind, are not, as Baha'u'llah's utterances clearly imply, responsible to those whom they represent, nor are they allowed to be governed by the feelings, the general opinion, and even the convictions of the mass of the faithful, or of those who directly elect them. They are to follow in a prayerful attitude the dictates and promptings of their conscience. They may, indeed they must, acquaint themselves with the conditions prevailing among the community, must weigh dispassionately in their minds the merits of any case presented for their consideration, but must reserve for themselves the right of an unfettered decision. God will verily inspire them with whatsoever He willeth, is Baha'u'llah's incontrovertible assurance. They, and not the body of those who either directly or indirectly elect them, have thus been made the recipients of the divine guidance, which is at once the lifeblood and ultimate safeguard of this revelation. Nor can the Baha'i administrative order be dismissed as a hard and rigid system of unmitigated autocracy, or as an idle imitation of any form of absolutistic ecclesiastical government, whether it be the papacy, the imamate, or any other similar institution, for the obvious reason that upon the international elected representatives of the followers of Baha'u'llah has been conferred the exclusive right of legislating on matters not expressly revealed in the Baha'i writings. Neither the guardian of the faith nor any institution apart from the International House of Justice can ever usurp this vital and essential power or encroach upon that sacred right. The abolition of professional priesthood, with its accompanying sacraments of baptism, of communion, and of confession of sins, the laws requiring the election by universal suffrage of all local, national, and international houses of justice, the total absence of episcopal authority with its attendant privileges, corruptions, and bureaucratic tendencies, are further evidences of the non-autocratic character of the Baha'i administrative order and of its inclination to democratic methods in the administration of its affairs.